Hi, everybody. Welcome back. And we're going to look at this week's real estate update here in the GTA, specifically the areas of Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto West, and Toronto Central. I've highlighted some of the areas that stood out to me this week. So this analysis ends on August the 2nd. And as you can see, week to week. And we can always go back and compare to see how things have been trending. So that's typically what I do. Now, the areas that stand out, I look at Brampton, and this is highlighted. We have seen now Brampton overall is a price that is probably one of the lower priced in the immediate GTA, and so we would expect to see higher volume, and that is what we're seeing here. The volume of sales, and remember, this is just for the week. We had 194 sales, 133 of them sold for the listed price or above. So I guess that's why I highlighted this, because that's 69%, almost 70% of the market in Brampton. The homes that sold in this week sold for almost 70% of them sold for listed price or above. That is an incredibly strong, very competitive market. A lot of good things happening for sellers in that market. And of course, with the number of properties hitting the market, also more inventory available for buyers. Brampton here, looking at detached homes, the $1 million mark has now been exceeded with the detached homes, and for 2 weeks in a row now has consistently remained there. And we've got the two figures here. The average sale price is obviously looking at all the numbers combined and then dividing it by the number of sales. But this number can fluctuate quite a bit, because if we have a week or two where all of a sudden we have an anomaly of a property that is really pricey suddenly hits the market, or a few of them, then the sale of that home can certainly drive up the average price overall, and it can kind of maybe skew the numbers a bit. And that's why I also do the median sale price, which is another form of average. And this one is simply looking at all of the sales, for example, detached homes, looking at those 126 homes, and what was the number in the middle, the median number. So it's 946. So the higher this number, the more and more homes are priced on the higher end. The lower this number, that means that more of the homes were priced on the lower end. So 946 gives us a median number, and it is nice and strong. We can actually see that median figure has actually gone up, meaning more and more homes week to week are being priced higher. 80%, 83% of homes in Brampton, semi-detached townhomes, sold for the listed price or above. That is an incredibly strong number. Jumping down to Mississauga, the median price, which tends to be more of a consistent number, doesn't fluctuate as much, but we do see it, look, week to week going up. It's now exceeded $1 million. So more and more homes are being listed for that $1 million price or higher overall average in Mississauga. The Toronto West market here is now at 66%, which is a really strong number of the homes sold for listed price or above, but the average sale price for Toronto West was $1,343,000. And that's going up, right? So we've got 1,207, we got 1,134. So over the last number of weeks, we see that number trending upward week over week. How is the median number? Same thing, 950, 1180, 1175. So here it's kind of plateaued, but it has trended upwards overall. So that's a good indicator. Prices overall gradually are going up. Detached homes this particular week, $1.5 million was the average sale price for Toronto West, which is the Junction, High Park, St. Clair West, all these types of communities, Etobicoke. So 1.5, we had a really high average for this week. And once again, it could mean we've had a few properties that were priced really high, all of a sudden brought that up by an average compared to the week prior of about $150,000 above that previous week. So looking at the median for that, just to compare, 1,260 was the median number, the average price in the middle. How that compare from the previous week? It's down just slightly, but really it's insignificant. But both these weeks are up significantly from late June, early July. So we can see that prices overall have trended upwards. Semi-detached townhomes this last week performed really well. They sold for 79% for semi-detached. 92% of townhomes in Toronto West sold for the listed price or above. Incredibly strong number. And then looking at the Toronto Central, the number that jumps out, semi-detached homes, 75% of those semi-detached homes sold for listed price or above. Those semi-detached homes in Toronto Central, overall, that number seems to be very consistent. Look at that, 92% back in late June, early July, so about a month ago. 92%, we had 64% drop, back up to 75%. So they consistently are performing really well, that semi-detached segment of Toronto Central homes. And then looking at townhomes, so we had a peak here in the previous week, 1.5 million, 1.6 was actually the median. That means there was a lot of these homes were priced on the higher end of this range. So that's a good indicator. So there you go. That's kind of what's been happening. Feel free to pause the video, look at these things in a little bit more detail. I'll even kind of go back a little bit here so you can actually pause some of this and see how we perform compared to the previous weeks. You can take a look at the different segments and you can see how we have actually trended overall. And that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the trends. Are we going up? Are we going down? Is it plateauing? And so hopefully you're finding this information really helpful to you as it is to me. But if you're thinking of buying or selling, please reach out. I'd love to help you and do a super job for you. But we'll see you next time.